do you have any examples of some risk mitigation strategies that you may have used, particularly for critical infrastructure?
Yeah, one example we've had is with an agency that provided a critical service to our citizens of North Dakota. It was our first vendor we sent through our third-party risk management program prior to us being StateRAMP authorized as a state. So as we ran them through a third-party risk assessment, they've never gone through one before, of course, first, right? And then secondly, we got the findings back and surprise, right? We had almost 50 critical findings we were working with this specific vendor that's been a state vendor for 20 years. And obviously there's a lot of backlash between the vendor side and then the agency because they've been partners with this vendor for 2 decades. So that was a tough inroad into third-party risk, eye-opening for us, and maybe one of the worst ones we probably went through to start with. But going through that and then kind of letting them know, hey, these are the reasons why, these are the consequences if we don't fix this issue, both to our agency, to the vendor, and then ultimately to our citizens of North Dakota. So going through, recommending some key recommendations to put in place, following up with that vendor. And then a year later, they came back to us and thanked us for kind of putting them through that pain, so to speak. And ultimately, they were able to answer RFPs for other projects down the road, and they were in a much better place cybersecurity posture-wise. And then a year later is when we joined StateRAMP and thought, wow, this would have been a lot easier if we would have just had them StateRAMP authorized and kind of take that pain off the states. And that's really what I appreciate with the partnership with StateRAMP.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you talk about partnerships, partnerships with organizations like StateRAMP, but also partnerships with your third-party suppliers and vendors so that you can work together to try to reduce that risk.
And that's our key point too. Our CISO, Michael Gregg, says this all the time. We don't want to do business with vendors. It's really partners. And I'm seeing that change over the last 3 years, just going through vendor assessments. The vendors get it too. So now they're actually a partner with us. We can't do it ourselves. Gail mentioned about the movement, obviously, to cloud security. And obviously, we have to keep up with that. And I think the partner vendor community understands that due diligence that we need to do as a state as well.
Absolutely.